Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Christian Rasmussen of Andretti Autosport. Of course, drives the 28 in the Indy Lights Series for Andretti. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Well, first off, congrats on the win at Road America a few days ago. And after the weekend you had in Detroit.
Yeah, thank you very
How did it
much.
feel to get that win?
Yeah, it was great to bounce back. I think Detroit was arguably the worst weekend of my life. So to bounce back with a win like that was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, for sure. I'm from Detroit. I'm from that area, so it's that's my home race right there. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, that was a very rough one for me. But yeah, like I said, it was great to bounce back with a win and show everyone that I was able to run up front and win races.
It seems like there's all of you, with you and Matt and who am I forgetting? I'm drawing a big blank. Hunter and yeah. Oh, and Stingray.
Yeah.
Between the four of you guys, and I can't believe I just drew a blank there. But between the four of you guys really going up against the HMD guys, really, what has that been like between the two teams?
It's been good. Even within the team, I feel like we have such a strong group. So it's been good to have like championship winning drivers as your teammates, so you can learn off of them. We can feed off of each other very well, which is a thing that I haven't really been used to in the past. So being a part of that good of a group really pushes everyone forward, I think, and that's why it's as competitive as it is. Also between the two teams, there's just so many good drivers in the series, so it just pushes everyone to the edge. Sometimes a little over the edge, like we saw in Detroit. But yeah, it just pushes everyone to the edge, which brings out some great competition.
What is your favorite part about Road America?
I think the passing opportunities. A lot of the places we go to, it's so hard to get by even with push to pass. But at places like Road America, you have these long straights, so you can really get a good draft down there and make stuff happen into turn one, into turn three. So it just makes for great racing.
For sure. I know that with everything that you only have there's a lot of weekends left in the season. I know I believe Mid Ohio is the next one up for you guys. Going there, it's gonna be another fun one. Obviously, of course, you're very familiar with since you've raced there, and when you were in Indy Pro 2000 and also in USF 2000. What is racing like at Mid Ohio?
It's different from Road America, that's for sure. It's a much shorter road course. Passing is gonna be very hard, so getting a good qualifying will be key to having a good race there.
For sure. So talk about kind of this is kind of your first time here. Kind of tell us how you kind of got into racing a little bit.
So I started racing go-karts when I was 5 years old. It was actually, well, my dad owns a car dealership, so the interest for cars was already there. And then my older cousins actually started racing go-karts on like Sundays, just as kind of for fun. And then yeah, I kind of was looking a little bit up to them, and they were racing, so obviously I wanted to start racing, and then that's kind of where it all started.
For sure. And of course, we're kind of starting to see a lot of drivers we've seen drivers coming from Europe, but not really from Denmark. Of course, it's where you're from. I know we got Christian Lundgaard, of course, in IndyCar right now. What's it like to see, you kind of carrying like we saw with Sweden a few weeks in the last few weeks? What's it like to see you guys carrying the torch for Denmark?
No, it's cool. I grew up karting with Christian.
Yeah.
And so we know each other very well. We live super close to each other. We live in the same apartment building. So having each other close, I think is really, really good. So you have a familiar face in this big world where you can kind of be by yourself sometime. So to have a familiar face that you can speak your own language with has been really, really good for me. Um, and yeah, like I said, like I took a choice a few years ago moving to the United States. No one had really done it before from Denmark. It's not a very common way to go. Most people go to Europe, race F4, F3, go like the F1 route. But I saw at the early point in my career that how great opportunities were over here compared to Europe,
Right.
and that's why I moved over here.
Yeah.
So it's good to see. It's good to see other drivers seeing what I saw those few years ago and moving their careers over here. And I think you'll see more of that in the future. Not only Danish drivers, but also just European drivers in general. I
Yeah.
think you'll see more and more of it.
And I think we're kind of already starting to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
So going into the next few races, we have, of course, you got a couple ovals in Iowa and WWT Raceway. Of course, you got another street course in Nashville. How exciting is it? How exciting have you looked at the rest of the schedule and what's it going to be like? And of course, you're going to Nashville for the first time.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited for the rest of the season, especially getting that monkey off my back with the first race win. I feel like we're in a good spot. I think we have a good group together, good package on the 28 car. So hopefully we can go out there and win some more races. That's definitely the goal.
Yeah. And of course, going to Mid Ohio. What's the toughest part about that course, you think?
I think the toughest thing is gonna be just qualifying well. It's a very like technical track. It varies a lot with temperature there, conditions with how the track surface is. So just staying on top of all that, I think, is going to be very important.
For sure. All right. Christian Rasmussen, thank you so much for coming on. Congrats on the win this past weekend at Road America, and good luck in a few weeks at Mid Ohio.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.